Welcome lads and let's welcome back to the KingMagna channel, where today I want to talk about this Karen in a parking lot who basically harasses a guy for no reason. So essentially this woman decides it'd be a good idea to just harass this dude for no reason. He literally was not even near her and she started screaming at him because she felt threatened, which is like, okay. I'm just going to play the clip for you now just so you understand how crazy this lady is.
I'm literally shaking right now because I just had a man approach me in a parking lot.
Okay, so literally 5 seconds in, she's scared of someone in the parking lot. So what's her great idea? Sit in the parking lot in your car. That's a genius idea. You know what? If I'm in a horror movie and I'm being chased by Jason Voorhees, I'm just going to lock the door, stop vlogging. It'll be a great idea. Sup guys? Today, I'm being murdered. Say cheese. Come on. It's just a stupid idea. It's just absolute waffle. I've seen the video before. I don't really believe the story. I kind of think it is BS because you just wouldn't sit in the parking lot if you were actually threatened in the parking lot. I'll play the rest of the video. Just I wanted to jump in immediately and tell you this is bullshit.
I'm literally shaking right now because I just had a man approach me in a parking lot and it went fine. And I'm going to tell you why it went fine and how to address it because it was in a book I read and this is how you're supposed to address it, but it scared me. I'm literally shaking. So this guy, I'm alone with my son, by myself, a woman, and a male approached me in a parking lot. He's, "Excuse me, miss," and I don't know why in the hell he was approaching me or what he was trying to do. And before he was probably 30 feet from me when he said, "Excuse me, ma'am," and I turned around and I literally yelled at him and I said, "Do not approach me." And he immediately started going in the other direction and I just kept saying it over and over and over. I said, "Do not approach me, do not approach me." And he of course got what the F, he started cussing and yelling what's your problem? And I looked at him and he actually then crossed a couple cars down from my car and he didn't come anywhere near me. He crossed a couple cars down from my car and was like, continuing to cuss and say, "What's your problem?" And I said, "You do not approach women in a parking lot." I just kept saying, "Do not approach me. You do not approach women in a parking lot," yelling it. No male should ever approach a woman in a parking lot, ever. No male should ever approach a woman in a parking lot. And if a male does approach you, you need to turn around and use the strongest voice that you can possibly use with them. Don't be polite. They need to literally screw off. No male should be approaching you in a parking lot.
So a man from 30 feet away was trying to ask you something. So you decide to scream at him, and then after you scream at him, you sit in your car and film yourself. Now if this person doesn't think they're the main character, I don't know who does. This person thinks they're the main character in some book.
"I was approached by this evil, awful man, and he asked..."
Excuse me, I need some help.
"Get away from me! Get away from me! Blocked! Blocked!"
This is just stupid. It's just absolute waffle. She could have dropped her phone, because, a lot of people drop their phone nowadays and don't notice. Cropped her credit card. Their child could have dropped their toy. From hearing the child in the background slightly, seems like a young child, so they could have dropped their little baby pram. I don't know what children have nowadays. Their iPads. They could have dropped their Kindle, their Furby. I used to have a Furby, actually. That was my day, so that's a lie. But frankly, screaming at an innocent dude because the slight chance you've been threatened, it's just frankly a massive dick thing to do. It just doesn't warrant doing that. If you feel threatened, you just stay quiet, you walk away and you go somewhere safe. You don't go back off and scare someone, because then you've just involved them as well. And then when you're going, "Oh, he was swearing at me," blah, blah, blah. Why do you not understand that? Obviously he's going to swear at you if you're basically screaming at someone. The fuck's your problem? I bet he said one swear word as well. The fuck's your problem? "You are swearing at me, and my child was there." Because you're a Karen, that's why. You don't deserve to be treated with respect when you're treating people like that. Why should people respect you if you're not going to respect them back? That's just not how the world works. And also, what kind of example is she setting for her son? If I went out shopping with my mum, and my mum started harassing a guy for being a man, that's just not cool. He didn't actually do anything wrong, he kind of just was a man, so she started screaming at him and said, "I felt threatened. Do not approach me, do not approach me, do not approach me." Not a great excuse. This guy was he was 30 yards away. 30 yards away, that is ages away. That is so far away, and it's just not a good reason to scream at him. And she's basically telling her son that most men are creeps without just don't do that if you have a child. Don't teach them that they're going to be a monster when they're older because they're a man. I'm not trying to get political or anything because I really have no interest in that, but that's just really not a good way to treat your family. If you treat them like monsters because of their gender, that's just really fucked up. And, I'm going to straight up read off this because I wrote this down when I was doing the scripting, right? So another thing I want to mention is The channel I got this off, I just want to come out as well that I couldn't find the actual clip for it, so I got this off another channel, and that's why you might hear music at the end. But one thing that this dude, his name is Aflencio, sorry if I butchered that, he said it stops men helping women, and I completely agree with that. It's happened to me before, so I wanted to confirm why this happens with a little story of mine. I don't know if you know, I go to the gym a lot. I'm a keen gym goer, and not too far back, this was a couple of months ago. This was at the peak of like when women were called men in the gym, and they'd be in the background, look for a second, and be called a creep. This was at the peak of that, and I go to the gym every day. If I don't go every day, I go 6 days a week. I might have a rest day sometimes. Normally my rest days are just cardio, but I still have a rest day. And a female gym goer, was near here, and she couldn't get the bench to move. Basically, the bench has got wheels at the back, and it's got a handle at the front. You push up, and you roll it around. She couldn't figure that out, and she clearly needed help, but I just didn't want to help her, just in case she was filming. I think I saw her putting her phone up when she was, like, working out, like, mounting it on, like, a machine. So I didn't want to accidentally be in the background and called, like, a pervert, or... Because, I'm not going to lie, I acted like she wasn't there, and... It wasn't me being sexist. It wasn't me doing anything like that, misogyny, just anything. I don't really have a problem with women. I literally just don't really speak to many people when I go out, and this, especially this, because I didn't want to be called a creep, and I generally, one of my biggest fears is being like labelled as a creep for the rest of my life, because it happens to like celebrities all the time. Like if they get like Johnny Depp, Amber Hearded, like who thought of Johnny Depp as a bad person until that happened? Like obviously he was, coked up and stuff, but like he wasn't the abuser, it's the other way around. And I don't want to be called like some fat pervert or like some rotund rapist on TikTok or some shit. That sounds like an absolute nightmare to me. Whenever someone mentions this whole like gym creep thing or men not wanting to help women, I always think back to that. So I just want to let you know like that I have experience with that as well. Like what he said is completely true because it happened with me, and I probably should have helped, to be honest with you, even if people did call me like a creep or something. It's nice to help people. I think if you have the choice, always help someone, because it doesn't really help like bother you much at all. It doesn't stop you from doing anything. I was on my break anyway. I was like, I was doing bench press, so I was like, every time I do bench press, I'll do like 6 or 7 push, like what do you call it, reps, 15 kg each side. So I'll do 6 or 7 of them, and when I'm resting, I'll just like look up or go on my phone. I could have helped her. I could have just told her, you need to pull it up. She was trying to like shimmy it across and like drag it, but you literally just needed to pick it up and like roll it around. So if I was in the future, and if you're listening to this, just help people, no matter their gender or whatever. If I could go back in time, I probably would help her as well. And now getting back to the video, because I got a bit off topic there, this is like my final point. When she starts repeating over and over again, you should never approach a woman in the parking lot. That's absolute bullshit. Just don't listen to that. If a woman falls down, she hits herself, if she is like locked out a car, just go help her. Like what if like there's a woman in a wheelchair and she falls off the wheelchair, or someone steals their purse, or if she falls over and hits her head, or just anything, it won't help. Okay, if she crashes a car into like a pole, go over to her and say, "You're alright? Do you need me to call like an ambulance?" Don't feel like threatened by being near a woman because of people like this. It's really not a healthy mindset to get into. Just treat people equally, in my opinion. Just treat everyone the same you want to be treated. If someone's getting hurt, don't matter about gender, age or anything, just call like an ambulance. Even if it's a bad person, call an ambulance to make sure they're not going to die, because like even the worst people don't really deserve to die. That's it from me in today's video. Remember to like and subscribe, do all that good stuff, and I'll see you in another video. See ya.